What's going on, everybody? Chris back here, and well, I got a little bit of a Saw update for you. Now, for those of you who may be new to the Saw space, that's gonna be funny in a minute, I promise. But for those of you who are new to the Saw space, maybe not quite sure what's going on with the Saw franchise right now, you're probably wondering, like, what's going on with Saw 11? Where is it? Is it still happening? Is it canceled? I heard Saw went over to Blumhouse. Are they doing a reboot? Like, what's going on with Saw franchise right now? Now, I've done videos on the news kind of as it's kind of coming out, but I figured for anybody who had missed those and want to get caught up, we'll do a quick little recap because there's a few of those topics where I do have a little bit of an update on. So first, let's start off with Saw 11. Like, what happened with Saw 11? Not long after Saw X came out, Lionsgate, Twisted Pictures, they're like, all right, we're greenlighting Saw 11. It's gonna happen. Not long after that, the film got delayed a year. And it was supposed to come out in 2025 instead of 2024 like originally planned. But yeah, you had Kevin Greiter, who directed Saw X, and he also did 6 and 7 as well, edited most of the films. He was coming back to direct Saw 11. Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan, who had wrote Saw 4 through 7, they were set to write the script for Saw 11, and things seemed to go. That was kind of the plan. Things were in motion, and all of a sudden things just got quiet. The filmmakers kind of stopped hearing from the producers. Apparently there was some infighting going on at Twisted Pictures, and there was no location scouting, there was no casting, there was no, I mean, I'm sure there was, multiple drafts of the script, but they weren't very far along in the process of this movie. Suddenly, Blumhouse obtains the rights to the Saw franchise, with Lionsgate still being involved, but Twisted Pictures basically selling their share of the Saw franchise, which is most of it, over to Blumhouse. Now, we're going to talk about the details of that specific deal in a minute, but first we have, now normally when I do these kind of videos, I highlight or mention the article that I had read it from. With this one, shit's kind of coming out from all over the place. Now, there was an interview with Twisted Pictures producer Oren Cools. I believe it was from Screen Rant, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but Oren Cools was doing this interview. He kind of tells us a little bit about what happened with Saw 11. It's not much that we didn't already know, but for those of you who want to know what Oren said specifically, I'm going to read it off for you here. So Oren says, my partner, talking about Mark Berg, my partner and I couldn't see eye to eye on Saw 11. It was the right time to sell. It's not a big secret. Kevin Greiter was directing, Marcus Dunstan and Patrick Melton wrote. It was a great script. Everybody was in. Mark and I just couldn't agree on the execution. He also goes on to say that I purposely have never asked Jason Blum what his idea is or future plans for the franchise. There is an existing Saw 11 script, and it's really, really good. In the sale, they got that 11 script. So I don't want to give anything away in case he goes on to make it. And then there is a little bit more to this interview, but we're going to talk about that detail in a minute. He says, again, it's done by Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan. They're great writers on their own for Saw and other things, like The Collector, for example. If you guys haven't seen The Collector, definitely go check those movies out. It just had to do with going forward as a partnership and just kind of fizzled out. We disagreed on lots, just internally in the script, and it was just time. So that is what happened with Saw 11. I find it real interesting that Blumhouse got that Saw 11 script as part of the deal. Now, if they decide to make Saw 11 still, I'm not saying they're going to. I don't think they're going to, but they have it if they decide to use it. So I hope Blumhouse is listening to the fan outcry, to the creative team outcry, who really wants to do it as well. But I know James Wan and stuff wants to do something a little bit different. We're going to talk about that too. But I find it real interesting that they got the Saw 11 script, and if they decide to make that movie, they'll obviously probably have to go back to the drawing board and write up a brand new draft, and I'm sure a lot will probably change from what we originally had. But Oren also said later on in that interview that the only thing he gave away was that we pick up immediately where Saw X ended, which, again, no surprise. Cecilia was back. So that was kind of like where we were starting. I still really hope that movie gets made. I don't know if it will, but, you know, anything's possible. Never say never. So then, yes, Saw moves over to Blumhouse, and again, going from this Oren Cool's interview, he kind of talks about that Blumhouse deal a little bit and kind of what exactly Blumhouse got when they obtained the rights to Saw. So I'd like to read that off for you here. Blumhouse has acquired the library, the 10 previous movies, the roller coasters, escape rooms. All of it is part of the deal, but I have no idea what Jason Blum's plans are for the future of the franchise, as we were just kind of talking about there. So it sounds like that they got everything. Like, they got the movies, they got the roller coasters, they got the escape rooms. You know, I'm sure they're going to do another house at Hollywood Horror Nights. So there you go. Blumhouse has acquired pretty much everything that Twisted Pictures had regarding the Saw franchise. So now we're going to move on to James Wan and Leigh Whannell. Because, again, I also did a video on this, and we were kind of talking about what this could possibly mean. But in case you missed it, James Wan, the original director, or the director of the original Saw, and Leigh Whannell, the writer of the original Saw, who also played Adam in the film, they were supposed to be coming back to direct. I say supposed to be because I may have gotten a detail wrong, or I just misheard something, or maybe there was a detail that came out when I did that video that wasn't really clear at the time. So I did a whole video on it. James Wan and Leigh Whannell are set to come back to kind of help guide the franchise going forward. Billy even went on his LinkedIn profile talking about getting to work with old friends again, and had the picture of James and Leigh there, and I did a whole video talking about it. Yeah, here's the thing with that. So I do have a couple things to talk about regarding James and Leigh specifically. First, let's talk about James Wan's company, Atomic Monster, who had merged with Blumhouse previously. Both production labels still operate largely independently. From what I understand, James's company, Atomic Monster, will be the ones handling production of the film. So instead of the Twisted Pictures logo, which I'm really going to miss, but instead of the Twisted Pictures logo in front of the film, we're going to see James's Atomic Monster logo in front of the films, as well as the Blumhouse logo and Lionsgate as well, I'm sure. So, yeah, it looks like James is literally at the helm of this thing. Maybe not in terms of directing, but he's definitely like the top guy right now in the Saw franchise. And in addition to that, now this I can't confirm 100% quite yet, but from what I understand, it appears that Leigh Whannell is not involved in this movie, outside of his like executive producer credit that he has on every other movie, just like James Wan. But it doesn't seem like Leigh's really going to be involved, which I kind of thought that was part of the announcement. Like, even if you go back in the video, like, we pull up the quote from the interview where it's like James and Leigh will guide the future of this franchise, or whatever the quote was. So it's a little interesting that Leigh might not be involved in this. But yeah, as of right now, I can't confirm that 100%. Just kind of the word on the street that I'm currently hearing right now regarding Leigh Whannell. So I also just recently did a video on this. Saw 2, Saw 3, Saw 4 are getting Amazon exclusive 4K steelbooks. And I do have a little bit of an update on this topic here, believe it or not. Again, I talked about in that video how it was going to be 2 through 4 this year and then 5 through 7 next year. Probably early next year, I would say Q1. And again, not 100% confirmed or nothing, but everything that I am seeing is pointing to, yes, that's exactly the case. We're going to get 5, 6, and 7 next year. In fact, Kevin Greater, who directed 6 and 7, he made a comment. Someone had asked him, like, hey, any potential news on a Saw 3D 4K? To which Kevin responded something along the lines of, it looks promising, bye-bye Pink Blood. So that's good to hear. because I was just talking about in the 4K Steelbook video on how the fucking color grading in Saw 3D is fucking dreadful. But I get there was a lot going against it. So there's no official announcement. There's no official dates or anything like that yet. But judging by everything I've heard and Kevin's comment on top of that, I'm going to say that is a pretty safe bet there. So now we're going to go back over to Saw Space again because Jason Blum did an interview. I'm not sure where he did this particular interview at. I think Oren Cools was with Screen Rant. I don't remember where the Jason Blum interview came from. But Jason Blum talks about a little bit of what's to come from the Saw franchise. He says, the Saw franchise is a strategic investment in one of the most recognizable and successful properties of the last 20 years. What really excites me about bringing Saw to Blumhouse is having James and Leigh back into the fold and the future come to life with their guidance. So again, Jason Blum himself is saying James and Leigh, just like I said in that video. But the word on the street I'm hearing is that Leigh really doesn't have any involvement in this, and this is a source that I trust, by the way, but Jason Blum's saying Leigh's here. So what's going on with Leigh? Leigh, can you at least make a comment? Let us know what's going on, bud. And speaking of James Wan, he also has a few new comments regarding the next film and possibly where they're going. James says, it's a bit early to talk about it, but needless to say, it's one that I'm very excited about, just because I haven't really had much to do with the Saw franchise since the very early days. I guess it's challenging and exciting because I get to come back to the movie that started my career, the career for myself and Leigh Whannell. I'm not taking this very lightly at all, which is good to hear. But he goes on to say, I definitely want to find a way for the next movie to be respectful of what fans love, while finding a new audience for it. It's a 20-year-old franchise, and I do think finding a fresh start to some degree is important, while still staying true to the world that we've created. So James Wan is basically saying, like, yes, we know how much the fans love the Saw movies. We hear the Saw fans, but it is 20 years old now. We do have to do something fresh and different with it. And James has even been very vocal about this in the past. How if he ever came back to do the Saw franchise, basically he would want to reboot it or restart again somewhere. Again, that's unclear if that's what we're doing. I don't think we're going to get a clear reboot. In fact, we're going to talk about that in a minute. So it sounds like that they are, again, he said he's not taking this very lightly, and I believe him. I do think that they are genuinely trying to figure out what to do. Because, again, this is just speculation on my part. I don't have any inside knowledge here whatsoever. But judging from everything that I'm gathering, it seems like Blumhouse, Atomic Monster, are the ones that want to go the more reboot route, whether that's soft reboot, legacy sequel, whatever the fuck they want to do regarding a reboot. And it seems like the Lionsgate side of things still very much wants to keep things the way they were, and I genuinely believe that they are trying to figure out a compromise for both. So again, what's going to come of that, I don't know, but that is my general belief, is that they're trying to compromise, meet somewhere in the middle. So yeah, there's that. But we do have one detail, possibly, again, not 100% confirmed or anything, and the word I'm hearing on the street from a little birdie that I trust is the current Saw 11 plan. I say Saw 11 because we don't know what the movie is going to be quite yet. But from what I understand, they're kind of going for like a half reboot, possibly new timeline, with Tobin Bell expected to return as John Kramer. That's it. That's all I know. Again, nothing's confirmed. Anything could change. This could turn out to be total bullshit, but again, where it's coming from, I personally trust it, because I don't want to do videos on every like whisper and rumor that I hear. I will only do it if I feel there's something legitimate behind it, even if it's just a little sliver of truth there. I at least want to be able to plant the seed to kind of get your guys' thoughts on that kind of stuff. But I won't grab random theories and rumors off the internet. I try to be very careful with that stuff. But so I say all that because a half reboot with Tobin Bell coming back as John Kramer. First off, Tobin Bell is still very eager and very excited to keep going as John Kramer, which good for him, man. He's definitely getting up there in age, but he seems like he's good to go still. So yeah, use him as long as he still wants to do it. But the question then becomes, if we're not getting the direct sequel to Saw X, and we're going to go the half reboot route, well, what does that mean? Are we doing another Blumhouse legacy sequel, like Halloween 2018 and The Exorcist and all that stuff like that? Candyman had one as well. The legacy sequel thing is the current trend. So what? We would have the first Saw movie, all the stuff with Adam and Gordon in the bathroom, and then we would kickstart a new timeline after that, which I don't... Again, Blumhouse is trying to make a Saw movie that's going to have longevity, that can start the franchise anew while still making the older generation of fans happy. Because whatever you're going to do, you have to get things set up for this generation of Saw fans. And that's very important. And I think right now, us diehard Saw fans want Saw 11. But as far as any, like, the casual audience or newcomers or people who don't typically care about a Saw movie, you're going to need to really sell them. So I don't know if that would be the right move to make, if that's what they end up doing. But that's just my own personal opinion there. But yeah, Tobin Bell projected to return. As of right now, all I hear is that he's the only one projected to return, which is a bummer, because Shawnee and Costas should absolutely be a Cecilia too. Forgive me, I don't know how to pronounce the actress's real name, so I'm just keep calling her Cecilia for the sake of that. But yes, there's no word on her or Shawnee or Costas or anybody, so we'll see what happens. Again, none of this is confirmed. As James Wan said, it's still very early, but he seems very excited about it. And when James is genuinely excited about something, that piques my interest. Yeah. And then one final thing I wanted to talk about. I've talked about this on our Jigsaw Files podcast episodes. Darren Bousman and Josh Stolberg, two Saw alum, are doing a podcast right now where they're trying to make a new movie, and they're taking the audience along for the whole ride. Which your boy here kind of accidentally popped up in an episode of that podcast, but that's a different story for a different time. For now, I'll keep you in suspense. But on that podcast, Darren and Josh were talking about how when Spiral came out, I know not everybody's a fan of Spiral, but when Spiral from the Book of Saw came out, they had a 3-movie plan. So Spiral was originally going to be a trilogy. There's really no update here, except for that Josh said that maybe one day he'll talk about what Spiral 2 and 3 were going to be, because he's still kind of hoping that they find a way to kind of make those. I would love them, but I'll be honest, I don't know if Spiral's ever going to happen. But they were talking about on that podcast how Spiral from the Book of Saw was originally intended to be a trilogy. There was going to be 3 Spiral movies, and again, I know a lot of people didn't like Spiral. I enjoy it quite a bit. It's not nearly the best Saw movie, but I don't think it's nearly the worst either. There's a couple that I have below that one in terms of my ranking. But yeah, Spiral for me, I have a decent time with it for what it is. I would have seen 2 more movies. I don't know where you would have gone with a third. I have ideas of where you could go with the second one. But because we don't have the second movie, I couldn't tell you where I would go with the third. I'm not thinking a 3-movie plan here. Now, those movies are probably never going to get made, unfortunately. But I think Spiral would actually work better on a television format, because it's mostly cop plot. It's more cop plot than it is traps, which is most of the Saw movies. But this one does it a little bit differently, to where it does play out like a standard cop drama that you would see on TV, except this one has deadly saw traps in it. So I think Spiral would be better suited for that. I know most of you guys are probably just don't give a shit about Spiral, but I would like to see a Spiral TV series. But I'm really curious on where Spiral 2 and 3 could have been. And also, I just wanted to take this time, go watch Darren and Josh make a movie. It is a great show. It's a great podcast. It's a lot of fun. And I'm gonna say that every time that they come up in conversation, because I just think it's a fun show. So guys, that was it. Again, there's a lot of things happening in the Saw world right now. They're cooking something, but it's still very early. So again, if you guys want to stay up to date with all the news coming out, be sure to hit that subscribe button and go check out our podcast, the Jigsaw Files podcast. I'm working on the Book of Saw, The Ultimate Timeline. That'll be coming out in 2026. Plenty of other Saw content coming on here as well. So if that's your thing, if you guys want to stay up to date with all that stuff, yeah, be sure to hit all those buttons down there. But until next time, guys.
Game over.